What would you do if the very people you trusted most, the ones you called family, showed up at your doorstep, not to celebrate your success, but to steal it from you? This is the story of how my dream turned into a war zone. My name is Jack, I'm 31 years old, and just a week ago, I achieved something I had been dreaming about since college. I bought a home of my own. It wasn't some sprawling mansion out of a glossy magazine or an impossible estate tucked behind iron gates. No, it was better than that. It was mine. A two-story, $750,000 house with clean white siding, a porch swing that creaked gently when the wind passed, a backyard large enough for summer barbecues, and a kitchen that practically begged for Sunday dinners. I could already imagine the clatter of plates, the hum of conversation, and maybe one day, when life shifted, laughter of kids echoing through the rooms. Getting here hadn't been easy. I'd spent nearly a decade sacrificing for this place, while my friends flew off on vacations, swapped apartments every couple of years, or upgraded to shiny new cars. I chose differently. I stayed in a shoebox apartment that rattled with every passing train, drove my beat-up car until the engine whimpered with exhaustion, and pinched pennies until I sometimes wondered if I was cutting too deep. But I kept my eyes forward because this wasn't just a purchase, it was a promise, a monument to the long years I had endured, to the discipline no one ever applauded me for, and to the quiet, stubborn belief that someday, it would all pay off. And it did. When the realtor handed me the keys, my chest felt like it might burst open. I spent 3 days straight unpacking, cleaning, arranging furniture with care. Fresh flowers brightened the living room. My new dining table gleamed with polished wood, set neatly with matching silverware and plates. I even made place cards, a silly detail maybe, but it mattered to me, because this wasn't just about me enjoying the house. I wanted my family to see it, to sit around my table, share a meal, and maybe, just maybe, for the first time in years, feel like a family again. The night of the housewarming, I was almost vibrating with anticipation. The roast was in the oven, its savory smell filling the rooms, candles flickered against the walls, music played softly in the background, just the right volume, not intrusive but warm. I checked the clock, 6 o'clock, right on time. I poured a glass of wine and waited. By 6:30, I told myself they were just running late. By 7, the food had cooled, the candles burned halfway down, and the silence of the house pressed in around me like a cruel joke. By 8 o'clock, reality set in. No one was coming. I sat alone at the table, surrounded by empty chairs and plates set for people who never arrived. The refrigerator hummed in the background like a taunt. When my phone rang, my heart leapt, relief surged. Maybe something had come up, maybe they were on their way, but the voice on the other end wasn't apologetic, it was casual, too casual. "Hey, Jack," my dad said, "your brother thinks the house should be his." At first, I thought I'd misheard. My grip tightened on the phone. "What do you mean should be his?" "He's the one starting a family soon. Makes more sense for him. You'll probably just be here alone. Wouldn't it be better for everyone if you sold it to him, or let him take over the mortgage?" I couldn't even find words. My wine glass sat untouched, my chest constricted with heat and disbelief. They hadn't just skipped my dinner. They hadn't just dismissed my efforts. They were already carving up my dream as if it had been theirs to begin with. That night, the roast went uneaten, the flowers sagged. I sat in the dim glow of dying candles, my father's words replaying until they cut deeper than the silence. The following day, I called my mom, hoping for clarity, maybe some compassion. "Why didn't anyone come last night? I cooked for everyone." Her voice was light, almost bored. "Oh, Jack, we were tired. Your dad worked late, and Mark had plans. Besides, you don't need us to celebrate, you have your house now." "It wasn't about the house," I said, forcing my voice steady, "it was about being together." But her pause told me all I needed to know. Then she added softly, "Honey, don't overthink this, we'll stop by one weekend, and about what your father said, maybe you should consider it. Mark's under pressure, and you're single, helping him would be a gift." A gift, as though all my years of sacrifice were meant to be handed over like a spare sweater. Days blurred into weeks. My brother texted, pressing me to think logically. My parents showed up unannounced, strolling through my house as if inspecting it for someone else. My office was casually designated as the perfect nursery. Every conversation bent toward Mark, toward his imagined future in the home I had worked myself raw to earn. The breaking point came when they arrived with tape measures and a clipboard, talking furniture layouts while I stood in my own doorway, stunned. When I finally snapped, yelling for them to get out, the word selfish hung in the air like a curse. From that moment forward, my house was no longer just a home, it became a battlefield. They pushed harder, planting a sold sign on my porch, arranging appraisals without my consent, leaving notes that told me to clear out my things. My own family, my blood, had turned into trespassers, invaders. For weeks, I lived like a ghost in my own space. The pride I had once felt evaporated. Every creak of the floorboards made me wonder if someone was here. Every text filled me with dread. I thought about giving up, selling the house, disappearing somewhere they couldn't reach me. But late one night, staring at a framed certificate on my office wall, I realized something. They didn't respect me because I had never demanded it. They believed they could take everything from me because I had always been the son who gave without asking, who endured without complaint. That night, I opened my laptop. I researched property law, tenant rights, legal protections. I called a locksmith, changed every lock, installed cameras, and began documenting every intrusion, every voicemail, every smirk disguised as a family conversation. I wasn't just defending myself anymore, I was preparing for war. The weeks that followed reshaped me. I poured my anger into work and landed the biggest deal of the quarter. My boss promoted me. I used the bonus to upgrade the house, not just physically, with landscaping and security systems, but symbolically. My home was thriving, and so was I. I moved the title into a trust, untouchable by anyone but me. I met with lawyers who told me in no uncertain terms, they had no legal claim. For the first time, I felt strong. Boundaries replaced guilt, confidence replaced fear, and slowly, their pressure faltered. Calls grew fewer, texts shorter, silence stretched, but silence doesn't always mean peace, it often means plotting. When I learned they'd tried to pull my property records, I didn't panic, I documented it. When I caught Mark on my camera peering through my windows, I sent the footage to my lawyer. Every move they made tightened the noose, not around me, but around them. By the time my mother sent another family dinner invitation, I was ready. I walked into their home carrying a folder. Inside, legal letters, photographs, screenshots, evidence stacked neatly like bricks in a wall. When my father leaned forward and said, "It's time to think of the family, Jack. You can buy another house," I didn't flinch. I opened the folder, slid the first document across the table, and met their eyes with steady calm. "No," I said, my voice sharp with finality, "this house is mine, and if you try to take it from me again, you'll regret it. So tell me, if your own family tried to take everything you sacrificed for, would you fight back like I did, or would you walk away?" Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that peel back the dark side of family, trust, and betrayal.